but I must lift my head and my chins, remove an article of clothing, in this case my glasses, to say to all of you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching in this wonderful world. I do hope that you are taking good care of yourselves, taking care of each other, and are ready to have fun in 2025. Cruises are selling so quickly. I was talking to, on Tuesday, a very, very senior, up there, top of the line beard, who was telling me that the bookings are off the charts, and that's for many different reasons, but it has to be that I say thank you to you for booking, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few moments' time as well. But I raise a cup of tea to you and to everybody who's called me bad names in this year already. I absolutely, doesn't bother me at all, and I am thinking of you in a very special way. Cheers. The Pooh has got his hat on, hip 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 hooray. The Pooh has got his hat on and he's coming out to play. Yes, I bought myself a cup of tea. When anybody says you're fat, ugly, blah blah blah, I think of you. Right, moving on. Let's do some serious stuff. I want to try and keep these videos, which I will be doing every Thursday at this time. So hopefully you'll get into a rhythm of making sure that you watch something completely different. My schedule, of course, is I'm here for the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to go to Miami to host my 800 guests that have booked a cruise with me on Carnival Magic, February 16th. That's a Sunday. On the Saturday before, I will visit a ship. Don't know which one yet. I'll let you know. And then I'll be back to do some more ship visits. Probably doing some ship visits around middle to end of March. I want to come to Norfolk. I want to come to New Orleans and then come up to the West Coast. And while we're talking about the West Coast, can I say again to all of you that have written to me and posted things about all the different terrible tragedies that have happened to you personally during these awful biblical fires, which every time I turn the TV on to look to see if it's better and I see these before and after photos, it is just incredible. It's mind-blowing. It just doesn't seem real. And I must say a very special hello to Robert and Audrey. Hello, Robert and Audrey, who I've met before. They are regular cruisers with us. They're either Platinum or Diamond. I can't remember which it is. But I do know that they lost their whole house, and that they had just finished building in the backyard area a completely separate sort of annex hospital house, to have their Robert's mother live with them. She's not been very well. She's elderly, and they spent a fortune on that, and that's burnt down, and they've lost everything. And yeah, when people write you that kind of thing, there are no words you can say, thoughts and prayers and all the usual stuff, which are always sincere, but it just is so sad. And these people are not just on their own, Robert and Audrey. There are many of our Carnival Cruise Line family who have lost property, and thank goodness are okay themselves, but we must remember them, and we're doing everything we can, of course, to help. Right, I'm going to go through a couple of news items if I can, and then we'll read the letter of the day, and then we'll talk a little bit about some other bits and pieces. But I want to try and keep these videos to around no longer than 15 minutes. Everybody who knows me knows that that is absolutely nonsense. Anyway, yes, I should do Legend, Linda. I should. I know Captain Mark very, very well. Anyway, so those of you talking about Legend, we're cruising in Europe this last year, 2024, and I hope you had a brilliant time. Carnival Miracle is going to be doing the European season in this year, 2025, and Legend will return to Europe in 26. Plus, we have a couple of ships doing transatlantic cruises pre-dry dock. So they're heading to Barcelona. So this will apply to you. Now, we will be sending you, Chris, our Chief Communications Officer, and his team will be sending out notifications to you in the coming days. But we've also already added this onto the website. Now, for those of you coming to the UK this year, there is now something called an ETA that you have to complete, an electronic travel authorization. When I come as a Brit to the United States, I have to do something called ESTA, and this is now the other way around. It's kind of payback, I guess. I don't know why we're doing it, but we are. Anyway, so very basically, if you're coming to the UK to sail out of Dover, all travellers as of January the 8th, so we're already a little bit behind, who do not I'm behind telling you, I should say, who do not hold a passport of the United Kingdom or Ireland must obtain an electronic visa known as the UK Travel Authorization. Now, this is all on our website. You go to the www.gov.uk and you can apply for it there. It takes about 3 days to obtain. It's an electronic visa. It lasts for 2 years, and all guests traveling, including children and infants, need to apply for this ETA. It's very easy. I do it every year. There is a small charge. When I do it, I think it's about $15 to do an ESTA, and I think it's roughly the same for the UK electronic travel authorization. For that's those of you going to Dover. But if you're cruising from Dover, or if you're cruising from from Rome, you will also need the European version of this, which is called the European Travel Information and Authorization System, which means if you do not have a passport from, see if I can do this in one breath, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Switzerland, Sweden, and Cleveland, Ohio, you will also need to go on to the website Travel Europa, blah, blah, blah. And this is all on our website now, so you're basically going to need this. If you're going to cruise to from Dover to the European ports, you need to do both. If you're cruising from Dover and you're just doing British Isles, you need to do just the British visa. If you're sailing from Barcelona or from Rome, you will need to do the European visa. And it's all right there. It's simple. It takes a couple of days, and you can go ahead and put that right there for you. Okay? And I hope that you will enjoy a wonderful European season. Cabins are selling quickly, like they are, as I said, on every ship. Many of the cruises are sold out, but don't forget, this year it's your chance to explore the British Isles, Europe, the Mediterranean, Turkey, Ireland, Greece, Italy, France, Holland, Germany, Scotland, etc., all the way through, and it's going to be another brilliant European season. Now, that's some of the things that are applicable to the ships sailing from Europe this year and from the United Kingdom. But something happened which is very, very important, and I'm going to read the letter out, and then I just want to make sure that we make people aware of this. It is very clearly written, and I'll come to that in a second, but I did receive this message 2 days ago, and it says, this cruise is not my first rodeo, but it is the first time I've ever missed the ship. This is all because of bad weather in Atlanta and a cancelled flight. We did not get to the Carnival Dream on time, so my sister and me decided to rent a car and drive from Miami to Key West. This is the first port of the ship. We were exhausted but excited to start the cruise, but Carnival refused us boarding. They said it was a breach of rules. They refused to listen, and the ship's officers refused to let us on the boat. We were then told there would also be no reimbursement for the $140 car hire, and then they told us we would have to pay for our flights to join the boat in Amber Cove. Nowhere is it written on the website that this is a rule. John, you need to make this right. Carnival should make payments to our flights and the car hire. This would be proper customer service from you. Okay, so before I start, to all the cruise news people who make a living from copying and pasting stuff that I say, if you're going to quote me on this, please make sure that you get it right and not say Carnival announces. It's not Carnival, it's me, John, just talking about this. Okay, so if you want an official statement on anything, call Carnival. Anyway, here we go. So nothing but sympathy for this lady and her sister who flew from Atlanta, was it? Or I don't know if they had a connection there, but it was cancelled. And they were not the only ones, by the way, who missed the ship. I do want to say that. They drove to Key West and they were not allowed on board. And here's the reason. Yes, you're right, Ralph, and everyone else who's saying it. It's the Jones Act. Now, this is extremely complicated, and I'm not educated enough to go into the nuances of this act. But basically, in its raw form, it says that if the ship leaves from a United States home port, it must go foreign. You must go foreign. The ship has to go foreign, and you have to go on that ship and go to a foreign port. If not, you cannot join in the next port if it's a US territory or part of the United States. And that's why some of the people ask, why don't we do cruises that just go to US ports, which, you know, if you're looking at, you know, up the coast of California or Nantucket and Boston and all that, we would love to do that, but it's prohibited by the Jones Act, which says you have to go to a foreign port. So because you these ladies drove to Key West, which of course is part of Florida, which is part of the US, they were not allowed to join the ship. It would have been a huge fine for them and for us, which is why this was stopped. And if you are ever going to miss the ship, if you think you've missed the ship and you want to try and join in another Alaskan port, for example, or Key West, or anywhere that is a US port or US territory, you can't do so. It's a breach of the United States Congress Act, which is called the Jones Act. Now, that's why the people, the ship's agent who you spoke with, these ladies spoke with, when you got to the ship, explained after checking with the ship that this wouldn't be possible without paying a huge fine. So I hope you have cruise insurance. I wrote that to you. I've sent a little something to your cabin because I know you joined yesterday, so you're probably not watching this. You did fly to Amber Cove. The ship did tell me that you've joined the ship, and I'm so very, very happy that you did. I sent you a little something to cheer you up. We can't pay for the car hire. We can't pay for the flights. This is all hopefully something that your own insurance will take care of. But it is part of the nuances of the Jones Act, which maybe one day will not be in existence, and it would certainly open a few other doors for bits and pieces, but that's way out of my jurisdiction, and it's probably best I don't comment on that anymore. I know the crew are taking brilliant care of you. I know they are, and I know that they're going to give you the best of times. So that's just a little insight into what is the reason why you can't leave from the United States without going foreign, and why you can't join the ship the next day if it is a US port. Now, if the next port had been the Bahamas or Grand Cayman, etc., then yes, absolutely, that would not have been a problem. So there you go. I guess we've learned a lesson, and I'll say it again, insurance is not necessary. Cruise insurance is not necessary until it is. That's all I'm going to say about that. So yesterday, somebody also posted that they wrote to me about using a digital wristband to open the door. That's not a digital wristband, that's Johnny Depp. That was actually a necklace from Mum that I had made into it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, a digital wristband. This is me opening a door and, would you like a drink? Yes, bosh. And you have to say bosh every time you do that. And somebody wrote to me about why we don't have these on board, and that we should ditch the sail and sign card. Wow, that person did not like my reply. I said, I'm sure will be something that we use in the future, but I think choice is good, and that we should be able to offer people in the future technology which everybody will embrace, and we should give it a big cuddle. But also there should be choice. And her reply to that was that I was, and I quote, obsolete and outdated, and that Carnival needs a young brand ambassador. And I had to think about this, and as I'm racing along to my next birthday, well, it doesn't matter when, but as I race along to my next birthday, I thought, well, maybe she's right. Now, I'm not going anywhere until the beards tell me, goodbye, John. But as you get older, you do tend to think about technology, and I have to admit that I did something, and I never do this. I really don't. I promise I really don't. I don't have time. So I did a bit of stalking, and I clicked on her profile photo, and having told me that Carnival needs a new brand ambassador, Carnival needs somebody who's young, Carnival needs to ditch the sail and sign card and not give people a choice, just go to digital wristbands. Bosh. I thought, who's telling me this? So I clicked on her profile page of Facebook. Her cover photo, the photo at the very top, was brilliantly a Royal Caribbean ship. And this really made me laugh. And because I'm really old now, I nearly had a little accident because I laughed so hard. So her photo proved that I was getting old, because her photo of another cruise line's ship made me laugh. So she was right and she was wrong. I nearly had a little accident. As I said, look, I know we have to cuddle the age of technology, I really do, and artificial intelligence, but can I wave a paper copy of the Fun Times under everybody's nose, and to the people with ripped jeans, and just put your tit-tock down, stop looking at your tit-tock just for a minute, and let me say this. Technology is brilliant, but so is having a choice whether to use it or not, and that's hopefully what will happen. It's the same way our daughter Kai, right? She's 15, she'll be 16 this year, and she's taught geography lessons, right? She's doing her geography exams. Now, these are not geography lessons about capital cities or rivers or the wonders of the world, like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the pyramids, and Cleveland, Ohio. Instead, her teachers are ramming climate change at her every lesson. Now, hold on, don't panic. I'm not going to talk about climate change. I'm just saying this is what they teach her. And like every good teenager, she comes home and teaches me and my wife Heidi about climate change. Yet, like so many other teenagers, she leaves every light on when she leaves the house. She never turns her laptop off, so it's always whirring every time I walk past her bedroom. However, I get it, because young people like this lady who said, I need to be younger and I'm obsolete, they have a grasp of artificial intelligence and technology, and they leave me open-mouthed. I mean, what she can do on a computer and on her phone, I sit there like an Amish guy watching a Amazon drone deliver a package. Young people really find it hilarious that older people don't particularly like QR codes, and we ask for paper copies of our boarding passes and at the airports and when we cruise, and we still bring a highlighter to mark our fun times, don't we? A lot of us still do this. But as I said, listen, the march continues, and we have to give technology a big cuddle. And I, at some point, will get left behind, because I still make mistakes with technology every day. For example, Last week I was on a phone call with our Chief Communications Officer, Chris, and I didn't turn the phone off properly. So is it Arst called him or Buttock called him? Anyway, he enjoyed the next 30 minutes of the sounds of me visiting the bathroom. So sorry about that, Chris. Anyway, you know what? Technology is marching forward. Princess do a wonderful medallion. It's massively popular. Brilliant piece of kit. And I can understand why so many people want it. Maybe one day we will have something similar, but I hope we will always continue to give people a choice. So let me just reiterate what this whole waffle is about. If you want a paper copy of the menu in the dining room, please ask for it. It's that simple. You can use the app, which is fabulous, to look at the menus as well, and the fun times. But if you want the paper copies, it's delivered to the cabin, and the paper copies of the menu are there. We will embrace technology, give it a big kiss and a cuddle, but we will always, I hope, give people who don't want technology to give paper a chance as well. Just my thoughts. And for the Cruise Radio Hive Street, that's my thoughts, not Carnival announcing. Just my hopes and my dreams. A huge thank you to each and every person, to the thousands and thousands of people who voted in the very prestigious United States of America, or USA Today, top 10 best of polls. There were loads of different categories, and of course there was one called Best Ocean Cruise Line. And I'm very glad to say that we beat out the Virgins, we beat out the Norwegians, we beat out the Something of the Seas. And because of the brilliant service from our crew, because of all the fun that you have, because of, despite some changes and bits and pieces, little things and big things that perhaps you don't agree with, thousands, and I mean thousands of you listened to my request to vote if you feel we deserve to win Best Ocean Cruise Line. And we did. And that is thanks to you. And that is because I genuinely believe, whether you scan a QR code, whether you have a paper copy of the Fun Times, that you love cruising with us, you love the crew, you love the affordability, you love the laughter, you love the fun, you love the crew. And did I mention the crew? On behalf of all the crew, the Beards, and everybody who works shoreside at the mothership in Miami, I want to thank you for voting and for making sure that this cruise line wins a title which I think we deserve. Biased. Best Ocean Cruise Line. And that's because we have the best of two things. The best crew, and you, the best guests in the world. And I thank you very sincerely for voting and for being those guests. And I will continue as your brand ambassador to do absolutely everything I can for you. I better get back to answering questions. I also now have to throw a ball for my dog Quantum. Yes, I'm going to throw a ball. It's a bit extravagant, but he's a year old today and he looks awesome in a tuxedo. I'm going to throw a ball. Not throw a ball, I'm throwing a ball because it's his birthday today and he looks great in a tuxedo. It's a joke. You can screenshot this. Now that's a screensaver.